The Nevada Joint Union High School District recently acquired an 86-acre ranch property. The parcel is located in South County off of McCourtney Road by Clear Creek Middle School. The ranch was donated by a longtime Nevada County ranching family who are interested in supporting the high school district's efforts to expand the career technical education program. This would provide a much larger space for students to raise animals, farm crops, and learn different trade skills, which is exactly what the district's CTE program needs. In a recent interview on KNCO Radio, NJUHSD Superintendent Brett McFadden expressed his excitement for the many possibilities of using the property to give students hands-on learning opportunities. Many CTE classes, such as ag mechanics, where students learn woodworking and welding, which are very popular, the classes are often full. By expanding to this new ranch property, the district can offer more students access to take those classes. And at the same time, the high school district can also use the ranch to offer new learning experiences by partnering with local organizations or businesses. As a former student myself, this project is very exciting for school administrators and students alike. However, the district has a big task on its hands, preparing the ranch property so it can be ready for students. With me today is Luke Browning, a district staff member who works to enhance the CTE programs here in Nevada County. Hey Luke, thanks for coming on.
You bet, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what really kicked off this project, and how did, what are your thoughts on what to do next?
Yeah, for sure. It's an amazing opportunity for our students. You did a good job of setting context. This ranch was left to us, to the district. The whole concept behind leaving the ranch was to preserve agriculture education, ranching practices in the community, and really be a hub for agriculture education for students. Brett McFadden, our superintendent at the time, did a good job facilitating that. Now Dan Frisella is the current superintendent, and he's working hard to make sure that we're able to get kids out there and have the ranch meet its current vision. My role is I'm the CTE director, so I'm over all career technical education for the district, and underneath that role falls the ranch. You asked about next steps. For us, we want to get kids out there and we want kids to get their hands dirty. So there's quite a few different ways that we have in the works right now to do that. I'd love to tell you about any of them.
Absolutely. What's the current condition of the ranch property, and what are some of the goals to get it to where students can be there and actively learning?
Current condition is that it's beautiful. It is 86 acres of irrigated pasture, South County. It's off McCourtney Road, and right now it has cattle on it. So we work with a partner producer, Ron Youngman, who runs cattle out there. Next steps for us, we've got 2 layers, well really 3 to the plan. The first layer is get kids out there and get them working. So starting this semester, we'll be hiring student interns to go out to the ranch to work in the beef unit, to work with Ron and one of our adult advisors, Denise Ciccone. And so they will do everything from irrigating to doctoring and tagging cows and learning about what it means to be a rancher in Nevada County. We also, the Resource Conservation District donated a sawmill to the district, and so we'll have a team of students out there this summer that will be milling all of the lumber that we use in our district program. So you could be in a woodshop class building a project, and students will have made the lumber from logs that were donated for that project. And finally, we're starting a swine unit where we'll have pigs out at the ranch, and same thing, student interns will be working out there to farrow pigs, feed pigs, take care of them, and then ultimately selling them to the community.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How do students working on this ranch, are you kind of looking to partnering with organizations like FFA, which I know a lot of my friends and students are heavily involved with those programs, and how do you see kind of partnering with community businesses and community organizations to help you guys and enhance student learning and the opportunities that they have to do all those different things on that ranch?
Yeah, so first of all, it's open to all students from the district. So you could be sitting in a sophomore or freshman biology class, and maybe your teacher wants, you're doing a unit on water, right? And so maybe they want to take the class out to the ranch. They could do a whole study on water, do experiments. Students can get their hands dirty. They can take samples. And so we want to make it a living lab for every student in the district. Obviously, there's going to be students drawn to it that are part of the agriculture community, so that's where you'll get some of your FFA students, and I would foresee those students playing a key role in some of our internships. But I would add that we've partnered and we're in the process of partnering with other producers out there. We're working right now with Sierra Harvest to finalize setting up part of the donated land into essentially row crop production, where they can train community members how to farm that want to learn how to farm. As a district ranch, we could provide a space where they get to practice that. In return, they hire our students as interns to work the land. And so we're experimenting with a whole bunch of different ways to get kids out there. And ultimately, we'd like to have a lot of students out there while also serving as a model of agriculture for the community.
That sounds incredible. So it sounds like you're really trying to make this ranch an opportunity that all students can access in addition to your CTE program. I've heard you talk a lot about internships. Are those in kind of addition, like an outside internship from, a student's school day? And are those opportunities unpaid, paid? What do you kind of hope to see that kind of internship program become?
Yeah, and to answer your question about when they are, it's both, right? So some students can take the internship class 7th or 8th period. And so at the end of the day, they could be going out to the ranch to mill lumber. Some students, if you think about if you're working at the swine unit, it's not just going to be a 7th period gig. You're going to be working there all summer, Christmas break. I mean, you're going to be out there because you're taking care of animals and learning how to do that. They are paid. The student internships are paid. And our community is so outstanding. The County of Nevada has pitched in to sponsor some students out there to work. And then the Jennings Foundation also sponsored some students to work. So they're actually paying the student's salary this first year to work out at the ranch. And the idea is that we're able to sell enough from the ranch to generate enough income to then pay students after this first year. But the community stepped up and is starting to pay for students that first year and giving us some support with that. So that, I think, is an outstanding opportunity for a high school student to get experience and get paid at the same time.
Absolutely. That's super good to hear that there's actual money being put into it and the community support is really behind this project.
Yeah.
In that vein, kind of how do you see the finances for this project moving forward? I know there might be like some grants involved, and you said funding from the county. How does the school district, how have they been thinking about making sure that this ranch is something they can continue well into the future?
Yeah, good. I'm glad you asked that. So the ranch itself, as it stands, after this startup cost, the initial cost of getting kids out there, we can support students on it. Partnerships with Sierra Harvest, other local producers, that provides opportunities for kids. So at your base level, the ranch is pretty easy to sustain for us now that we have it in the high school district. Additionally, when you throw in support from NID and some of these other agencies that said, hey, we see the value in a community hub to teach agriculture skills not only to students but to community members, then we begin to become even more sustainable. In terms of grants, right? So right now, we just received a planning grant from We Prosper Together to do basically the business plan, to develop the model of sustainability for the ranch, and we should be in the next year finalizing what that looks like. And it may be that we were able to design what is that product beyond on lumber for the student classes. What else could we do to bring in income? Maybe we're also that those forestry students that are out there running the mill are also building chairs and tables and selling those to the community. And so that's where they start to look at a cost analysis of what's it going to take for us to make money and sustain. The ranch has bigger plans, though. We are looking to include an event center out at the ranch, a covered pavilion, which is like a really big covered barn, and then classrooms. And so to move the classrooms out to the ranch, which is supposed to happen next fall, we're leveraging some of the district funds in order to build some of the bigger things like community centers where local organizations can come out and host events there. We'll have to leverage some larger grants to do that. But I will tell you, because of the partnership with the County of Nevada, Nevada Irrigation District, Sierra Harvest, RCD, Farm Bureau, all of these different agencies that have said, hey, we like this concept, it becomes much more palatable to folks that issue grants because we're going after this as a community.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible that sounds like there's so much community support. There's a lot of longevity there, and you're not really struggling to put together, grant funding, and that's really an incredible opportunity for students and for the whole community to come behind and be part of this whole project. I couldn't have imagined it was such a incredible plan. How are kind of students and community members being involved in that planning process right now? Are any meetings public? Like, what kind of information has been trying to get put out there publicly to let people know more about what is in the works and how people can be involved?
So initially, we have a ranch advisory committee. So those are folks that are involved in industry, the agriculture industry, or are an ag teacher at the high school. And they guide how I implement the master plan, which includes all of those big things that we just talked about, right? So we meet out there at the ranch, and they will look at, okay, here's what we have for this next semester. This is the work that we need to get done. At the last meeting, we prioritized putting bathrooms and a classroom out there, and so then that triggers me to go after funding to move those things out there. So the initial lift has really been done by our advisory committee. Now, what I would say is with this new grant, a big part of it is getting community buy-in. And so we will start to host community meetings to educate the community on the ranch, what we're doing, the progress, and also solicit input. Because from a county standpoint, and I'm a longtime Nevada County resident, and from a county standpoint, there's value in this as a pipeline to employment. And so where we need input from the community is, what does that look like? What skills would support you in getting employed? From employers, what do you need from folks that are coming in and being hired for entry and mid-level jobs? And so then we can start to tweak and ensure that this community hub of a ranch is turning into that.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure students are coming out of there with the right skills and ready. That's what the whole CT program is for.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Do you have a timeline on when you might start to do these public meetings and when people can get involved?
Yeah, we just received this grant, and I mean, we're like on week 2 with this grant.
Oh, wow.
And so it's super fresh.
That is fresh.
Yeah, and so part of that is us hiring a ranch coordinator that will actually host those meetings. It's a part-time position, but they will, and likely somebody in the district, a teacher, and they will host those meetings and begin to solicit that information. The other piece that they will do is the coordination between all of the high school instructors. So meeting with the science department. Hey, what units do you have that you'd like to come out to the ranch to do at the ranch? Meeting with the ag teachers. What units do you have that you teach that would be better if we could bring them to life for you and provide transportation and bring you out? And so then mapping out the year for those teachers. But I would say your first set of meetings, probably beginning of May, June, you'll start to see some of those community meetings come together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And on the vein of kind of transportation, working with schools and classes, do you see any difficulties getting students from Bear River, Nevada Union, or other schools in the district to the ranch? Because I know if the ranch is out in South County, Bear River is probably one of the closer high schools, but do you foresee there being any challenge getting Nevada Union students or other students from smaller schools the opportunity to be there at the ranch and get classrooms out there?
Yeah, what I would say is transportation in our county is always a challenge. And so the beautiful thing about the ranch is it's directly in the middle between both our comprehensive high schools. So that makes transportation from each site less expensive and more doable. Our student interns who are juniors and seniors will be driving to the ranch just like they drive to a job. So that part helps. But in terms of for classes coming out and taking advantage of it, we're going to have to provide busing and transportation. But that's nothing new for the district, and that's nothing new for our community.
Yeah.
We're in a rural community, and so you can't walk to anything, so you have to drive. So we will continue to work on that. But that is the plan. And the great thing about it is it's almost exactly the same distance from Bear River to the ranch as it is from Nevada Union.
Wow.
So,
Well, that does work out very well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.